Hello, what's happening, everybody, and welcome to today's vlog. I'll be answering questions today. Woo! But first, I have got to address a couple of issues, or not really issues, just things. First of all, charity. The charity raffle did not really turn out as well as I had hoped, but we did nevertheless so far manage to raise about 15 euros for charity for the Hospice UK. That's actually a quite a significant amount. But it was only from two donations, one from me and one from Chester. So as of right now, he's actually just gonna be having the entire set without there ever being a randomizer, unfortunately. But it is 15 euros to charity. And I'm hoping I can do more of these eventually when I get around to having some more followers, having more subscribers, etc. Because I really want to make this channel more than Dota. So when we get around to it, when we get a couple of thousand, hopefully at some point, we will be able to do that. Now, in terms of channel, I am probably gonna be doing more probably ability drafts. It's gonna be like more ability draft minded, with me casting more ability draft because God, that's a lot of fun. And also the Tough Guy Tuesdays, which I've actually enjoyed a lot. I at least enjoyed making the last one. I'm gonna be doing that as well, way more. And that's pretty much all there is to it. And my computer is just fading away because I forgot to plug in my charger, so I gotta remember to keep that on. So that's pretty much it. Now, in terms of questions that you guys had for me, I'm actually surprised the amount of questions that I got. First of all, one, this is from Banana Slayer. From outside Dota/casting, what do you like to do? Like sports, movies, chill with friends, anything like that? And I do gymnastics, as I'm a coach for two teams, and I do it myself on one team. So I do gymnastics, and I enjoy it a lot. It's actually something that's not really been on my mind for like too long. I haven't actually been doing it for like too long. I've been doing it for like 1.5 years. Started on my boarding school last year when doing it, and it was a lot of fun. I've actually been playing a lot of football. Before that, I have played about 2 years. No, wait, not 2 years. What the hell am I talking about? 8 years of football, 2 years of handball, 3 years of badminton. I've also been doing 3 years of swimming, so I've been like all over the place. But yeah, that's what I do for sports. In terms of movies, and in terms of relaxing and actually watching TV, I watch a lot of American football because that's one of the most entertaining things I like to watch. I don't actually like to watch like football or anything like that, soccer as Americans call it. But I enjoy American football. So yeah, in terms of movies, it's actually a bit of a difficult one. I like action movies for when I gotta relax, when I just gotta calm myself down, and when I'm in the mood for something a bit more like mind-blowing-ish, something like that. I do those. I do the more of a thinking movies, but I like some action movies. I like good action movies. Some of the most enjoyable to watch. Not really too much into comedies, like just plain comedies. That's not really my type of movie. I like the more serious ones. And my computer just black screen again, or just went in a pause. Now, friends, mostly school and parties. I don't really do a lot with my friends outside of school, just for that simple reason that they live, like, I don't know. The closest lives about 4 kilometers from me, like the closest I have in terms of school friends, and some are even out like 30 kilometers away, so that's no good. I do hang out with them in school and after school, but it's not something like I go visit them every once in a while or anything like that. And I don't really have a whole lot of elementary school friends, friends from those days, or boarding school, because they were all like either scattered or I didn't really get along with them all that well. So that's pretty much that out of the way. In terms of Dota, if I have to choose my top 3 heroes that I like the most, that I like to play the most, is number 1, Axe. I love to play Axe. Number 2, Earthshaker. I don't play him nearly enough. And number 3 is actually Lich. And there's a very specific reason for that. you can dominate a lane with Lich super easily. If you just go back to the night creeps every single time, every 4 minutes you'll have denied him an entire creep wave, and you will have gotten the experience of 1 extra creep, aka 1 extra creep wave for that. So you can dominate a lane on Lich solo. I've done it up against the Centaur Warrunner on the off lane. I was safe lane, he was off lane, and I dominated him completely. So yeah. Which hero would you want to play better and why? Ember Spirit. I like to play better Ember Spirit. For the very specific reason that a skilled Ember Spirit player can pretty much do whatever the fuck he wants. Ember Spirit is one of the most skillful heroes. One of the heroes that requires the most skill to play, and I would love to learn to play Ember Spirit. I'm just don't really want to invest the time in it as of right now. Last question. Alright. Not last question, total, there are 2 more, but last question from Banana Slayer. What's your favorite team/player, and is there a reason for it? There can be only one, so choose carefully. Alright, my favorite team? Team Secret. No question about it. It's Team Secret. I absolutely love those guys. They do an amazing job of just kicking plain ass. I love watching them play because they're exciting. They do new things sometimes. They play exciting Dota. They play for the big plays. Unlike, now I'm going to be banging on Cloud9, but sorry guys, they play a bit of boring Dota. They don't play fast-paced Dota. They play very slow, but they're safe. They actually play the type of Dota that I like to play, but I enjoy watching Team Secret more. And in terms of favorite player, this is actually a bit of a difficult one, and most people, they go like, my favorite player is Arteezy. Sorry, Banana, but my favorite player is Arteezy. My favorite player is Dendi, Havos, whatever. Mine is actually either going to be Puppey or Fear. And I'm actually leaning more towards Fear. He is one of the most, he's not recognized at all in terms of what he has done and how good he actually is. He's an amazing player. Even though he might not be the best player to play a certain role, he's ridiculously good at keeping the team together, keeping them composed, and actually winning tournaments and winning a lot of money and kicking ass in general. He is super composed, super calm. He is basically the old hog of Dota. And if you don't know, if you haven't seen the free-to-play documentary, that's the one the guy should follow, is Fear. If you don't know too much about him, you can actually go watch that, and you can go watch him kick the dick bags out of basically every Chinese team at that time. So he is my favorite player. I love Puppey about equally much because of the things that he's done and the way that he leads the team, but I love Fear. I love watching him play. Alright, which editing software do you use and prefer? As you can awesomely tell, I use Sony Vegas, but it's not the one I prefer. It's a bit weird. I actually prefer Adobe Premiere or After Effects. Some of those, Adobe After Effects is probably the one I prefer, because Sony Vegas tends to crash, and it's not very cooperative when it comes in terms of green screen effects and general movie effects. It's lacking a lot, which is why I enjoy Adobe, because it's a lot more user friendly. You can do a lot more with what you have, and it's about the same amount of money. So I enjoy Adobe Premiere, and I'll actually be doing some stuff in it because I attend a school where we do stuff like that. So I'll actually have Adobe Premiere sometime next year as kind of a student thing. But Sony Vegas is the tool I'm familiar with, but I love Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere. Alright, so I did not end this video the way that I intended. My camera here ran out of power, so I didn't really have time to recharge it, so I'm just going to do it via my webcam, which is dreadful. But yeah, last little question here. What headset are you using, and would you recommend it? Yes, I would. It's the G35 Logitech. This little bad boy right here. It's got a pretty good microphone, as you can hear, and it's rather cheap because it's a Logitech. It cost me about €100 when I got it, but I reckon if you live elsewhere and seeing the fact that some time has passed, you can probably get it for some 60, 70 euros or something like that. And the technology is the equivalent of like 120 euro headsets. And they have compensated by making the materials a bit cheaper. A lot of this is like just regular plastic. And I've not been treating mine as well as I probably should have. There's a button that's fallen off in the back here, and I have cracked some of the links between the top of the headset, as you can see right there, and the bottom here. But other than that, it's actually a rather good headset. So if you're just a bit better than me of taking care of your stuff, that's a very, very good headset. So that's definitely a good buy, and I'm very, very happy about this headset. Like almost everything I have, my mouse, my keyboard, is Logitech. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, that pretty much rounds out my vlog. Not in the way that I would actually have wanted to end, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I am not entirely sure if I'll have an upload on Monday. Possibly. I think I have some old games that I can just pop open, and on Tuesday I will of course have the new Tough Guy Tuesday up and going for it. And this time it will be Centaur Warrunner, thanks to Chester. That was the guy he suggested. So Centaur Warrunner is next. I cannot promise you I will be good, but I'm an okay Centaur Warrunner. So that's pretty much all there's to it. Take care, everybody. See you next time. And also remember, questions. If you guys have any questions for me, like this right here, I'll be doing more of these because I love this. I love having you guys ask me questions and answering them. So if you guys have any questions for me, just go ahead and ask me. It can be pretty much anything, within reason, of course. So, no weird questions. Like, strange. In terms of, I mean, you can ask me like anything like I do in my day, like what I do, what I where I go to school, what I do in school, what I you know, those kinds of personal things. And you can also ask me what kind of recording software do I use, what's my favorite energy drink, what is my favorite food, things like that. I mean, it can be pretty much anything. So please do go ahead and ask. No question is silly, and if I do see a silly question, I'm just not gonna answer it. I'm gonna write to you in the comment section saying, this is a bit of a weird question. Is it okay if I do not include it? Like, the worst you can get for a question is a no. So keep that in mind. Always, this is actually a bit of advice that the old man told me. If there's anything, like, I mean, you can pretty much ask anybody anything. The worst answer you can get is a no. Like, that's you know, like the worst. I mean, it doesn't get any. It's a weird bit of a weird way of saying it, but what I meant to say is that the worst thing you can get is a no, and a no isn't that bad. The worst thing you can get is actually something that's not that bad. It's just like, alright, that's a no, moving on, kind of. So think in those directions when you think of things to ask me. So ask me questions. It's always appreciated. I like getting a conversation going with you guys, but I'm blabbering all over time. I think I'm like on 15 minutes now. So I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.